timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! 13! 13! Can you believe it?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, joined by our mystery man, Sharpy.
Hello.
What a great day it's been.
Yeah, pretty interesting one.
We'll start off with, we were going to review the draft, but we've done enough on the draft, and I think we'll leave our reaction. I feel like we can get a more of a gauge to how teams went, not necessarily by a summer league. I guess that gives us a little bit of a hint. Obviously not the whole deal, because we thought Mobley was going to be trash after the summer league. But not trash, but just not win Rookie of the Year, which we were right, I guess, Sharpie. So
yeah, he didn't win it.
Yeah, even though we probably thought he should have. But we'll start off with a little game. So it's called, well, it's pretty generic. It's overpaid, underpaid, or perfectly paid, or well played. I was going to have a little flashcard thing, but I thought that would take too much time. And whether you just hold up one or the other. But I've got 7 or 8 players here listed, or 5 or 6 players actually. If you think of any other, Sharpie, to bring up, let me know. But first one, I'll let you go first on them. Karl Anthony Towns, 4 years, 224 million. Overpaid, underpaid, or perfectly paid?
I think that's perfectly paid.
Provide your reasoning, because I have him overpaid slightly.
I mean, it's just a common extension, Supermax extension, really. But for someone like that who's been loyal to the team for a long time, having a star player like that, he's a franchise player. You gotta pay the people. Yeah,
and that's the thing. To be fair to him, he has been loyal to the team, and he's always wanted to stay there. I feel like the question mark is, you said franchise player there. I feel like they're going to move towards Ant more than Karl Anthony Towns now, but obviously they're looking forward to having them both there. But my fear is, like, yeah, he's been loyal, and I don't really know what other contract you could offer him, I guess. But I feel like he's just been that tad inconsistent. He can be not a superstar, but he can be a very good all-star, but he can also go missing at times. Not saying that he doesn't deserve a $100+ million contract, but I feel like a supermax in this speaking terms is slightly overpaid. And then again, it's hard to get a gauge on him though, because you got to take into account that he had family members pass in COVID, and you can only imagine how much that actually has an effect on your well-being. But well, we're off to a disagreeing start at least. But I don't completely disagree. I just think it's a slight overpay. And we've got to take into account, obviously, this. Do you know how much the salary cap went up?
From what I saw, it went up 120 to 150 million.
Jeez, yeah. So there's a big jump, and that's why obviously you're seeing people like Jokic get 255 or 270 something million. That's completely ridiculous. Now the next one is a player we both like. I'm presuming you'd like him, and he's going to the Knicks. It's Jalen Brunson, 4 years, 104 million. I'm hoping and expecting you say properly paid or perfectly paid. Where do you stand?
Probably more towards perfectly paid. I mean, in this market with point guards especially, yeah, it's a bit hard to tell if they're paid well or not. But I think especially the way Brunson played in the playoffs without Doncic there, he played really well. And I think even just throughout the whole season, he played really well. So I think he kind of deserved a contract like that.
At the start of today, to be honest, I won't lie, I thought it was slightly overpaid. If it was 5 years, I thought it was great, but at the start of the day, I thought it was slightly overpaid. But now I think about it more. The only reason I had it slightly paid was because he's still he would still should be a second option. And you've kind of got two second options there. But obviously the other deals that happened today that makes that deal look like a great deal. But even if it was slightly overpaid or slightly underpaid or whatever, you can't bag out the Knicks for doing a deal like this. It's not one of those. There should be no. I think I saw people trending saying "lol Knicks" and stuff. There should be no lol Knicks or anything going around. So I'm actually gonna probably agree just because I want Brunson to be really good, even though he's a bit questionable on the
The
defensive
fourth
end.
year is a team option or a player option, if I can remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I know, so I guess we agree on that. So that's not too bad. But I feel like we're going to disagree on this one. And I want to hear your reasoning because I'm actually interested and I'm not too worried if we disagree. But Lou Dort, 5 years, 87.5 million. Obviously, it's 17 something million. Now, you give us your reasoning to why you think where you stand.
I think it's probably deserved, but I mean, it's just, has he really done enough to contribute for that type of contract though?
That's the thing.
Like that's what I was more going at.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's a good defender and everything, but there's so many players that are great defenders that don't get paid that much as well. I feel like it's more of a loyalty contract. You know, he just to stay with them through the current times, the shit times, you could say.
So I feel like taking obviously into account the salary cap boost that the league got, Dort was on a ridiculously low contract for the last couple of years, obviously going undrafted. We basically had him for pennies. And I would still argue that he's a top 3 or top 5 perimeter defender, not defender in the game, just perimeter defender. And like I know I'm going to see headlines of it next year is Dort. He's been improving every year, and he's on his offense. He's improved in points. He's improved in true shooting percentage, and three. I think he's slightly took a dip on the 3, but he's taking more threes, and that's the thing. He's not gonna be shooting 8 threes a game this season like he was last season. He's just not going to get the same amount of shots with Chet and everyone that's at the Thunder that I'll probably make my own video on another time. But I feel like 5 years it's not a bad deal because one, it's going to be a movable deal, but he's a player that we would need in the future if, say, I God hope this Thunder team's good, but if this Thunder team's in the playoffs, he could be a real big asset, whether it's off the bench. I don't know, 87 million is a lot for a bench player, but especially with other deals that I've seen this today that we're still going to get to. I think it's the next one. I think it's just a good deal, and like I said, I know I'm going to see tweets saying that he's overpaid and everything through the year because he's not going to be averaging as much points because he's not going to be taking as much shots. But I feel like if most people watched OKC, and I'm not blaming people for not wanting to watch OKC, they might realize a little bit more why. So I think it's well paid, not perfectly paid. It is a lot, but I think it's well paid. This one, I think we're going to agree on. Anthony Simons, 4 years, 100 million. You can take that one away.
I think that's an overpay, probably by 30 million, maybe.
Oh, just a measly 30 million.
Yeah, just 30 million. I mean, he had a good second half of the season, but that's like only when Lillard was gone. And yeah, he was out for 3 months of that as well. But does that really warrant that much money?
Yeah.
I mean, was the market that interested in Anthony Simons?
He's a young prospect. That's about it. But who was going to take the shots in that team anyway? It was basically a G League Trailblazers team.
Well, they just brought in Shade and Sharp, so I thought he'd be the future going forward.
Oh no,
with
but
Lillard.
back during the season when he was getting all of his numbers, he was really the only option because
Who's that dude with the big hair for them?
Alabi, CJ Alabi.
Y-
Is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah, he was playing all right.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I'd better offer him 100 million.
I mean, they still got Nurkic there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm going to take this back to Dort very briefly. You look at the Thunder; they're not really paying anyone except for SGA basically. Whereas the Blazers, they've put this 4-year, $100 million contract out there, and they've just gone and got Grant. That's not on a. I still don't think he's on a great deal. I can't remember his deal, but I don't remember it being too great. You got Lillard, who's going to get heaps of money. Nurkic, who's on. I'm sure he's on a fair bit of money. If they go into the luxury tax,
Josh Hart's still there.
yeah, he's still there. If they go into the luxury tax at all for the team that they've got, that is appalling. But
And they're willing to offer Dame the 2 years, 100 million as well.
yeah, I agree with you. I think it's way overpaid. And Sam, I don't know if Sam was being serious today. Did he say he liked it?
I don't think he was. I don't think he was being serious.
If I was a Portland fan, I'd be fuming. Like
Yeah.
4 years, 100. That's something that got tossed around, like you saw on Twitter before free agency started, saying that Jordan Poole could get that, and people were still saying that was overpaid. And Jordan Poole's far better than Simons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any closing things on that one?
No, you touched on it well.
Now this one is similar. Bradley Beal, I'll let you rant on about it. 5 years, 251 million.
I mean, it's properly paid, but I mean, enjoy your
Really?
money, but enjoy losing.
I was not expecting properly paid. I was because I'm going way overpaid. But
okay, yeah, I'll go overpaid too as well. But yeah, congratulations, you're now going to be losing for the next 5 years in a gold-plated house. So
I'm waiting for your Ben Simmons type rant on him.
No, I don't deserve that. That's
like
that's his decision to stay. But I mean, yeah, cool. It shows loyalty. But I mean, is the organization really loyal to you though? Are they giving you any help? No, they're just really just giving you money.
And
you ain't gonna win shit.
People can't say get him help or get him out of there. He's chosen to stay there.
Exactly.
And
you made the bed. You sleep in it now. That's your decision.
And I don't want to see any shit about it. And I don't know how he's getting so much money. At least you look at Towns, you look at obviously Jokic that signed that huge deal. You look at who else signed a big deal. Jar signed another max. They're
Booker.
all.
Wait, we said that.
Oh, we haven't talked about Booker, but I don't have him on here either. But they all play a big role in winning. Bloody the only time the Wizards won was when the so-called team destroyer or locker or whatever you want to call it, Westbrook, went there and actually took them to the play, helped take them to the playoffs. He had a really good season, but he doesn't affect winning, and I just don't see how a player yes, it is a strong Eastern Conference now, but a player that doesn't help at all, doesn't make the playoffs without another superstar, which obviously you could argue other players do as well, but making 251 million, he's never been in the MVP discussion. He wasn't even an all-star this year, was he? Sharpie? Oh, are you there, Sharpie? Oh, something's going wrong. I can't really tell, but I don't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go on. I was just asking you. Beal, was he an all-star this year?
No, I don't know. Can't remember.
I don't think he was, and but like he's never been top 5 or probably not even top 10 in an MVP discussion. And he's getting 250 million. I'm not going to take it to the extent that it's like a Michael Porter Jr. deal where he got heaps of money that he didn't really deserve yet, because he's deserved at least a lot of this money, but not this much, I don't think. Did you have any other overpaid, underpaid deals? They're the only ones that I had off the top of my head, but did you have anything that you'd like to discuss?
Like PJ Tucker, 3 years, 33 million to the Sixers was a bit random.
Yeah. Well, Harden really wanted him, apparently.
Yeah, I think Daryl Morey wanted him. He wants all the bloody
Ex-Houston
former
players.
Rockets players back. I think they're trying to get
Except
Eric
Chris
Gordon.
Paul.
They signed Traveling Queen as well.
Everyone except Chris Paul.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was random.
How old is he? He just looks really old.
He'd be probably. I'd probably be just on the back 9. I reckon.
Yeah.
Probably 31. I reckon.
Yeah. 3 years, 30 million, 33 million does seem a lot for someone that hits corner threes and is a bit of a junkyard dog.
Yeah, he's a good defender. I think Perk was saying. Perk put it well. Someone that can sit in the corner and hit the threes and defend their best player on every night.
Yeah.
Who actually wants to defend.
Yeah,
the best player every night.
It's personally for me, it's not. I can't even put that in one of those sections. It's just one of those confusing deals where I don't know whether it's good for the team, whether the Sixers have done well, especially with what's going on now. But where do you stand? Do you think it's overpaid or?
I mean, I don't know where they're getting all this money from, but yeah, I could say that.
Yeah, you look at the contracts they're on. Jesus.
I think a good contract here was Gary Payton to the Blazers, 3 years, 28 million. I think he deserved that. And I'm more happy that he's found a place now.
Yeah.
Like he's been bouncing around from team to team, from G League and all that stuff. But the last couple of years, or the last year, especially with the Warriors, he played really well and helped that team win the title. So I think he's deserved that amount of money.
Yeah, just to stay put for a little bit is actually good for him. And I'm happy, to be honest, I'm a little bit happy that he's not returning to Golden State, because I just didn't want him on Golden State because I don't like Golden State that much.
Well, JTA also signed with the Lakers, so the Warriors have got a couple spots.
Even Lonnie Walker.
Yeah, with who else signed with the Lakers today?
I can't remember his name.
Troy Brown.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't mind the Lonnie Walker deal. I don't know why Lonnie Walker wanted to do that, but
yeah, I know. To be honest, he's not really that special.
Yeah, but
it's good for him. But I mean, you've kind of depleted your value. I mean, look at Malik Monk. He only just signed a 2-year, $19 million deal with the Kings today.
And that's after he said that he wanted to stay
at the Lakers.
And so, do you have any more? Because there's a couple of
Isaiah Hartenstein signed with the 2 years, 16 million with the Knicks.
He's a good backup center.
That's a good backup, especially if we can keep Mitchell Robinson. That's a good backup.
You just need to get off the two big ones, which I don't.
Yeah, well, I think one of the two will have to go in the next coming days. I saw a post yesterday that apparently Randall's going to be hot property in the market. Not going to word it like that, actually.
Hot property. Jesus.
No, I'm not going to word it like that. That's really rude.
Who wants him, the Sacramento Kings or the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers?
Who knows? OKC, you want him? We'll take Kenrich. We'll take Kenny Hustle.
Oh, Moose.
Chris Boucher re-signed with the Raptors, 3 years, 35.
Hey, we're getting into the other deals later on. I'm just wondering if there's any that you had in particular that thought maybe be a good discussion for overpaid, underpaid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we good.
All right.
Okay, overpay here. JaVale McGee, 3 years, $20 million with the Mavericks.
I don't know what the Mavs are doing.
I mean,
Bogdan's better.
Yeah, the Mavericks probably needed a center. but like
Fucking hell.
20 million on JaVale McGee in 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great. Like, don't get me wrong, he was a great backup for
other
Phoenix.
teams, yeah. But
Yeah. Anyway,
should
that's
have
all I
given
got.
Boban more time. Like, come on, man. And what about Bo Cruz is a free agent now?
Well, he's only got, he knows who to call.
Yeah. I forget the agent's name in the movie, to be honest. I just Adam Sand. I forget what his name. Anyway, I just want to have a quick comment about something that I found funny is how like players and stuff are going, not only just going after Stephen A now, but like I saw something saying that what was it? It was basically Stephen A saying that or someone tweeted that this player is going to I can't remember the exact player, but going somewhere, and the source was Stephen A. And I'm just like, I was laughing. I'm just like, he is not.
Oh yeah, NBA Central did it. Yeah.
He's not a fucking source. He always talks out of his ass, and then he got Kyrie went back at him again today, and Stephen A. He just fucking talks out of his ass, and I'd trust Perkins more with the source than I would Stephen A. Stephen A. just wants
Brian
to get
Windhurst as well. You can fuck off.
Stephen A. just wants to
Don't know
get his
anything.
voice out there, and he's a fucking twat. I'll try and get him on the podcast. See if he comes on a small podcast like this. But I just wanted to get that out there. As we move on, probably the biggest trade that's happened. I don't know about many other relatively notable trades, but DeJounte Murray to Atlanta for 3 firsts and Danilo Gallinari, which apparently they might be buying out, or I don't know what the case is there, but I don't know the protections on these first round picks yet. But what are your thoughts on that?
One of the picks is the Charlotte pick that we gave them for Cam Reddish. Also, Jock Landale's going to Atlanta as well in that deal from Spurs.
He's going to get bulk minutes now.
He's second, but his year's not guaranteed. So I don't know if the Hawks plan on waiving him or not. Hopefully not. I really like Jock Landale to stay in the league. I mean, Atlanta could have a third big there. But yeah, it's a great trade for Atlanta. To only give up that much is, like, for an all-star, is crazy.
And he is he was one of my, like, I don't like watching the Spurs because they were just boring, but he was good to watch. That's why, like, obviously people probably giving shit to Knicks for no reason, but if he landed on the Knicks under a Tibbs, obviously their defense wasn't that great last year, but imagine him on a Tibbs defense with
that was the dream, with
Barrett in the backcourt and Robinson at center. You're sitting very pretty, but keep going. Sorry, before I interrupted you.
Atlanta are going to be good next season if they stay healthy. On paper, so far, that's a really good looking team. Trey, Murray, Hunter. Don't know if Collins is staying. We'll go Collins for now, and then Capella. That's a really good team.
Yeah. And Capella might not even be staying by the sounds of it. But my I've got a quick question. Do you reckon? Because I reckon this is going to happen. I feel like Trae Young's going to start playing a bit more off the ball. He's not going to be off the ball a lot, but obviously DeJounte Murray doesn't have the spot up ability as Trae Young. I feel like there's going to be a lot of off ball plays run for Trae Young now instead of him being ball dominant.
He's going to be the only one there on defense that he's going to be the target on defense.
Yeah. And DeJounte Murray,
on offense, sorry. Like, he's going to be there. Everyone's going to try and force the ball to whoever's on Trae Young. Because, obviously with his defending, he's not that great at defending, but I feel sorry for him because he's going to be worked every game.
Yeah. But then he's making the other players work on the other end. But I feel, I'd be interested to see how much he's playing like off the ball on offense see how much they give DeJounte Murray the reins to actually run the plays so Trae Young can just spot up threes as well. Obviously, he's going to have the ball a lot as well. But is there any other trade deals that you do remember?
Besides the Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel off the books for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Really hasn't really been that much. Like there was a few on the draft night. That's really about it. I thought someone would have thought Randall would have gone somewhere by now. That would have been nice.
I just want to comment on the OKC trade as well. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of Jane going in. I won't hide that at all. Just from what I'd heard from a couple of the podcasts about his character, not so much and a little bit about his game. But what I heard since, whether that's just because we've drafted him or not, he sounds pretty promising. But I feel like to get obviously the Knicks pick at 11 and not give up the 12th pick, so to keep both that pick. But I think looking at it, I think there was the 3 first rounders that we gave up were highly protected. And obviously they're not going to convey next year in the 2023 draft. They might even convey in a few years to a couple of second rounds. I think that turns out to be a pretty good deal for the Thunder, who obviously have a treasure trove of picks. And when we can't select a player with every single pick that we have. So if Presti trusts in him, I trust in him. But I'm just trying to think of any other deals that were made before we go into free agents that haven't been moved yet. I don't think there was any other trades. So we will move on to KD and Kyrie. I think these are the only two that we're going to talk about, maybe DeAndre Ayton. KD, obviously, Kyrie, opted into his option or whatever you want to call it. And now apparently he still wants to go to the Lakers. And KD wants to either go to the Heat or Suns as his preferred options, but he's requested a trade. What I find interesting is apparently they still want to play together, but just not in Brooklyn, which baffles me. Like, get a grip. You got Ben Simmons there as well. But what do you think first of the KD? We'll go to KD's side of things first. What do you think, and where do you think he'll go or get traded to, and what's a realistic trade?
A realistic trade, from what I saw, was Phoenix, and they were giving up Cam Johnson, Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and I can't remember the other one, and then just a couple of picks for whatever picks they have. And then that's it, pretty much.
I don't mind the unrealistic stance that the Nets owner had, though, because apparently they're not doing a deal with the Suns if it doesn't include Devin Booker. And obviously the Suns aren't going to move on from Devin Booker. But I don't mind that stance from them because maybe they can actually get more out of a deal if they do end up going with Ayton or something. But there's been rumors to the Heat, and apparently even Jimmy. But if he went to the Heat, who would you? First of all, from a Brooklyn standpoint, who would you want? But also, if you're the Heat, would you rather give up Jimmy or Bam?
I'd rather give up Bam.
Yeah, I agree. Explain why you chose that though first.
No, I mean, centers are pretty easy to find. And I mean, Jimmy's going to be your main scorer every day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Actually, now I don't know because someone like Bam's actually really good, obviously.
I feel like Jimmy just performing in the playoffs though, like as much as people might hate him, including us, not the biggest fans of him, he does show up in the playoffs and he does perform, whereas Bam can go missing from time to time. I think a Bam Tyler Hero deal for KD would, I don't know, it's tough, but one that did get thrown out there, and you might shut this down straight away, but the Sixers have been trying to get, Embiid's gone to the front office apparently and asked to do everything they can to get KD. And apparently, one option is Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and I think it's like 2 firsts for KD. One, would you do it? And 2, who do you think would win that deal straight up?
What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, I just do you like that deal, or do you feel like that's too unrealistic?
No, I like it. I reckon that's a good deal.
I to take on Tobias Harris's contract though, I feel is a bit stiff. Even though, believe it or not, he's being linked to Sacramento. Of course, Sacramento want to take on that fucking stupid contract. They're just idiots. But final one, Kyrie, Dallas are suitors. Obviously with a spot opening up as well now. Dallas are suitors. Haven't heard anything about the Knicks anymore, but I'm sure they're still in their roundabout. And obviously the Lakers. Where do you think he's most likely going to end up?
Well, from what I'm hearing, what I've heard all day, pretty much he's pushing to try and get to the Lakers.
But I don't see any trade.
I don't see how they're going to manage that. I mean, the old reliable THT and Kendrick Nunn.
Well, did you see what one of the multiple people kept tweeting like this would be a good deal for both teams? You want to know what the deal was?
What?
It was Russell Westbrook. Who was it? Westbrook. It was another player that wasn't very good. And then it was a 2027 first round and a 2029 first round for Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, and Cam Thomas. And it's just like, yeah, that's not one-sided whatsoever. I don't know if a Lakers fan made that and people are just like, yeah, that's a good deal. But what do you think about that trade, to be honest? Because
yeah, that's just stupid.
Because you rate Cam Thomas pretty highly, don't you?
He's a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakers fans are going to be Lakers fans, though. We better start finishing up. I'll leave you to some other notable deals that you liked that happened today. Just reel them off and discuss why. I'll observe.
Tyus Jones, 2 years, $30 million with the Grizzlies. That's a good backup guard. Obviously, re-signing with the Grizzlies. I like it. Nice. Batum re-signing with the Clippers. I think they're also trying to get John Wall as well, or maybe Kemba, wherever he goes, free agency.
Didn't even talk about that yet.
Nick Claxton re-signing 2 years to. I think a lot of people are going to be signing big deals with the Nets. To, I don't know, sort of pledge loyalty to the team.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond, 2 years, 6.5 to the Bulls. I mean, I think the one thing the Bulls needed was rim protection, and getting a player like Andre Drummond, yeah, that's good. Random one, Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox signs with the Pistons. 2 years, $6 million. So Fort Knox to Fort Michigan. Lovely. Jokic, $270 million.
Overpaid, way overpaid.
Overpaid. I think a 6th year will take him to $303 million. It's the biggest extension ever.
For the GOAT.
Bobby Portis, 4 years re-signing with the Bucks. 4 years, $49 million. Player option with the 4th year. He recently declined his contract or his player option the other day, and then obviously he was going to re-sign with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that, so yeah, that's a good deal for Bobby. Happy for him. And yeah, Oladipo 1 year, $11 million with Miami.
Yeah, that was even Patty Mills re-signing.
Yeah, 14. That was another situation like Bobby where he declined his player option on the 2nd year and then re-sign.
there was one Kyle Anderson slow-mo to Timberwolves. I think it was 2 years, 18 million or something similar to that. But even that's a pretty interesting deal. But I think that's all the deals. I dare say there might be a few more pods coming out in the next few weeks, whether it's just by myself for the talking about the Thunder or more free agency, whether we do an emergency one for KD wherever he goes. But thanks for joining us, Sharpie.
Yeah, too easy.
And we'll see you maybe even shorter than next week, but we'll see you next week. Bye.